Hi there and welcome to She Spice. Monique has jumped on board the Katt Williams Uncover train, uncovering the obscure side of the parody world. The consuming inquiry currently is exactly who these two are calling out in the satire scene, for starters. Katt Williams unquestionably shook the table with his appearance on Club Shay on January 4th, yet he saved a large portion of his poison for Steve Harvey, the very Steve that went to go watch Imprint Curry do his entire sitcom and afterward took all that Imprint Curry had, he said in the meeting. Now Steve got a sitcom where he the head, and he wear a suit, and afterward he gets this high-top blur, making all people of color think he got the best setup in the business, and it's a man unit, he proceeded. Det with then you ask him for what reason you not a celebrity, I would have rather not been a famous actor. This the very end that detested on Bernie Mac with this equivalent thing. There are 30,000 new scripts in Hollywood. Consistently not one of them requested a backwoods folk dark fella that can't talk gritty and seem to be Mr. Potato Head. There ain't none. You must have range. Following this, Williams likewise uncovered why he turned down a job in the first Rulers of Satire. I know reality. You think Emma let you ish on Bernie and afterward come get me. I'm the following Lord. Why, in light of the fact that the entire time Bernie was here, you were behaving like you were more amusing than him. You should go last because, in light of the fact that it was your visit, come clean, it was Steve's visit. Williams added, hello, you all about you all had one over on him. You thought he was dark and terrible and you were good looking and he was unable to make it because you did, and that ain't the manner in which satire worked. The Lord is the most amusing in the meantime. Monique has additionally voiced her aversion to Steve Harvey's lack of concern with business and debasing entertainers. You see, during a meeting on the Harvey-Steve television show, the entertainer said she and her significant other and director Sidney Hicks got marked as hard for pushing back when the makers of Valuable requested that she do more Oscar crusading. I said no to a few influential individuals. I said no to Oprah Winfrey. I expressed no to Tyler Perry. I expressed no to Lee Daniels, and I expressed no to Lionsgate. The trouble came when individuals that seemed as though me, like Oprah, Tyler, Lee Daniels, and I got to put my sibling Steve Harvey on the rundown, realized I was on the right track. Every last one of you shared with me, Monique. You're not off base. The comic added that she felt deceived when Harvey freely reprimanded her without addressing her first, and when I heard you go on the air and you said my sister and cut off an excessive number of ties, there's nothing I can accomplish for her. Now, Steve, do you have any idea how harmed I was? Harvey pushed back, saying, I felt that you had given yourself a raw deal by the manner in which you decided to go about it. Number 1, the blacklist of Netflix. We never provided individuals with a mark of activity. The second point that was coming to me was this issue that you had in Netflix, rich individuals issues. In January 2018, the Baltimore local had required a Netflix blacklist for orientation, predisposition, and variety inclination after the streaming giant offered her $500,000 for a satire exceptional, a moderately limited quantity contrasted with the extravagant payouts given to Amy Schumer. Chris Rock and Dave Chappelle each procured the chunky young lady star told Harvey her family experienced the deficiency of chances after the Oscar fold and fizzled Netflix bargain, yet that he and other conspicuous African Americans in Hollywood had not remained by her openly when inquired as to why he never remained with her. Steve uncovered this, the cash game. This ain't the person of color's down. This ain't the white man's down. This is the cash game. We're in the cash game, and you can't forfeit yourself. Monique then called out Steve, saying before the cash game is known as the uprightness game, and we've lost trustworthiness worrying about the cash. Steve Harvey's reaction was tremendously confounding and honestly very perturbing. It's shocking the way in which he shamelessly conceded that his obligation to cash obscures any smidgen of respectability. He could have the eagerness to choose not to see the battles of companions or even his own afflictions just to protect his monetary advantages, which brings up difficult issues about his ethical compass. This tendency towards quietness, particularly notwithstanding misfortune. Reverberations. Katt Williams, prior to scrutinizing Steve Harvey Williams, alluded to the empty underneath the charming outside, calling attention to the vexing qualities that appear to highlight Harvey's activities. They pay you to not discuss things they don't believe you should discuss. They let you know that themselves at any rate. Following Monique's meeting with Steve, she proceeded to uncover that a great deal had been removed from the discussion. It was two companions plunking down and having a transparent discussion that was extremely past due to the fact that there was a ton that was removed. It was a discussion that must be had. Monique added that when I shared with a man that I've known for a long time, all of you said that I did nothing out of sorts secretly, except that not even one of you was sufficiently valiant to say it openly, and a ton of that was removed from that discussion later on. Steve discovered that he laments how he addressed the jokester and assumes complete ownership for it. I must lull while I'm talking. He said I can't get into heated conversations, and I must simply monitor my words all the more cautiously. I assume total ownership for what came out of my mouth, so I can't say that I didn't say it. However, to individuals that truly know me, I have carried on for what seems like forever as a man of respectability. Harvey went on. So when I was alluding to uprightness in that interview, I was discussing the strategy where things were being finished, and that is all it was in the meantime. Monique let Embodiment know that she learned persistence from sounding the alarm on the absence of pay value in Hollywood, particularly for individuals of color. Since she comprehended where many were coming from, we get dreadful of missing out, so we simply continue to acknowledge when individuals say, Monique, what's going on with you? Don't you know what will happen? Well, child, I must arrange for that. However, ideally, the young lady who hasn't arrived at this point will not. On the off chance that I don't do my part, then the ones that preceded me will see me and say, what are you doing? You know, the whoopings we took for you for setting this hamburger began after the arrival of the 2009 film Valuable, delivered by Oprah and Tyler Perry and coordinated by Lee Daniels. Monique got far and wide recognition for her mind-blowing presentation and won the Oscar for Best Supporting Entertainer since Monique's exhibition made such a lot of buzz that Oprah and Tyler requested that she go on a press visit to advance the film anyway. Here's the kicker. They would have rather not paid her for this, so Monique declined, making sense of that she'd prefer to invest energy with her better half and children in the wake of investing such a lot of energy into Valuable. As per Monique, when she expressed no to Oprah and Tyler Perry's titles, they fired up, painting her as troublesome and difficult to work with just after Valuable hit screens. Monique looked as if a few moves that came her way out of nowhere had disappeared. Immediately and inexplicably, Hollywood appeared to have closed its entryway on her. Monique later let the Hollywood correspondent know that Lee Daniels conceded she was being renounced when she asked him for what valid reason. Daniels answered in light of the fact that you didn't play the game anyway. When Monique requested that Daniels make sense of what game he was referring to, he didn't have the foggiest idea what to say yet. We can all think about what the game is. They were fundamentally communicating something specific, that all dark performers need to venerate the ground Oprah stands on and say nothing negative regarding her, or the consequences will be severe anyway. Monique didn't allow them to quiet her. In a 2015 meeting with Tar, Monique claimed that the film chief debased her from working in Hollywood, likewise evening out comparable cases at Perry Winfrey, who she's still on the outs with, guaranteeing they supported the work. One of the organizations shared with Lee that I was truly hard to work with. Monique said at the time that whoever those individuals are who say Monique is troublesome, those individuals are either cold-hearted, heartless, or treat individuals like they're useless, and that is unsuitable. I come from a blue-collar town, and being from that place, you learn not to allow anyone to exploit you, don't allow individuals to abuse you, and defend what's right now. You would think this is the main time that Oprah has let down Monique, but incredibly, the response is no. In 2009, when Valuable was delivered, Monique and Oprah were dear companions, with an enormous piece of their bond being that both were taught by relatives growing up anyway. It was Oprah's experience with that relative that turned their kinship sharp. Winfrey called Monique prior to taping the episode, uncovering that her sibling Gerald Imes had connected and needed to apologize to her for her when they were kids. Monique told Winfrey she needed no part in the episode except for giving her approval for the taping to proceed when it circulated. However, the episode highlighted Monique's sibling, as well as her mom, father, and other siblings, all of whom made light of the stomach muscle Monique endured. Monique was particularly wounded by the episode since she says Winfrey realized she was not friendly with her mom and could not have possibly approved her showing up on the syndicated program. "You weren't in any event talking," she said of her mom. "Then I see the show, and I can perceive that my mom is attempting to make $1. I know my family." When Monique attempted to reach out to Winfrey to talk about the circumstances, it was fruitless. I contacted everyone I could to attempt to get to Oprah, but nothing happened. It just went dead, she expresses. Quick forward to 2014, when, after quite a while of radio quietness, Monique and Winfrey ended up at something very similar. Subscribe She Spice for more videos.